Hey guys, welcome to this video. This is kind of part two of a previous video that I just did in alignment with some of the messages that I've been getting about some changes on Earth. So thank you so much for tuning in, sharing this now moment with myself and with one another. If you haven't seen these videos before, welcome and welcome back. If you have, my intention is unity and oneness and the highest levels of love light. I wanted to start off by sharing, I just did a kind of an energy update on some of the messages that I've been receiving, downloads and information and synchronicities and so on and so forth. So I'm going to go into some flow with the intention of explaining a little bit about what's going on inside of the earth and inside of our bodies. I walk and meditate quite a bit, and I don't always share some of the recordings that I get because they all don't always make sense to me. Even the ones I do share sometimes don't make sense. But there's an energy behind them and there's a frequency that I'm offering. And so if anything, that's what's meant to be expressed through these videos. But this particular video, what I had seen and what I was shown and information I was learning about was that we've kind of, we have a resonance, we have a signature sound each of us carries. I'll start with that. And in this signature sound, it offers a frequency. You guys, if you look up heart math, you'll see that the heart creates a geometry, and that energy and that signal can be sent out, 15 feet around the body. If you were to measure it with I don't know if it's a spectrometer or whatever it is that you measure sound with, I'm probably totally wrong on that, but it doesn't matter. You would see a shape. Each of us is like a snowflake, and that would be the easiest way of describing it. If you've ever seen, an up close version of a snowflake, there are no snowflakes that are identical. Everybody's fingerprint is different, and everybody's sound signature has a variance to it from my perspective. I'm doing my best to explain this, but I feel called to share because it's information that now I've had validation on. I'm hearing it from other channels. So what I want to do is express it in the way that I've been told about it, because as I said in my previous video, sometimes it's about our perspective that can offer. I always joke, when I was in high school and I was in algebra, if you guys remember algebra, I was doing terrible. I was getting a C, not terrible, I guess I could have been failing, but I was getting a C, and my teacher was like, Carrie, look, I don't know what to do. You're just not picking this up. We're either going to have to drop you down a grade, into a class, or I'm going to change, let's start off by changing teachers. And so I went into a different class and I got an A. All of a sudden it made sense. Of course, I don't remember it now, but at the time it was just like, wow, this is a piece of cake. All because of that teacher's teaching style. So I'm sharing this because we all have a different way of learning. We all have a different teacher or friend or colleague that when we talk with them, we get them. And so you guys may not get what I have to share, but hearing it from somebody else, it might drop in and go, oh, okay, that makes sense. So I expressed that in my previous video, and I shared some other teachers that you might find, not all of them, but a few people that you might find helpful in your journey. Having said that, the message I received was, we have created this sound structure. Everything is sound, everything is vibration, everything is cymatics. That's how, so think of the snowflakes again. And we have created a certain resonance or harmonic that is coming up inside the earth as well. The earth has a harmonic. She has a certain frequency. And because we created this sound, and the way that my guides describe it is we actually reached a goal. It's like, wow, we hit this mark. We won this on the game, so now this treasure opens up. Because we hit this mark, it activated potentials that were encapsulated inside of the earth. In addition to that, what I was shown is our ancestors that came before us also left things, pieces of themselves from one perspective. What happens when we pass away? We're buried, right? Our bones are buried in the earth. They are sound instruments, and it's difficult to explain. It's very quantum. But now this sound or resonance that we have created has essentially allowed or activated the earth, or vice versa, to now open certain caverns or ring certain sounds that are allowing certain elements to escape, to be brought up, to be brought out, and become breathable. So this is just what I've been shown. And what this looks like is crystalline matrix of rare metals and iron oxide and certain chemical compositions, and that's a play on words. So when you think of a composition, I think of a musical composition, but also a chemical composition that has allowed for certain nutrients that were stored inside of the earth to now be expelled and brought up. This is enhancing the human and also enhancing the, I want to say the cleanup of the earth, but that wouldn't be exact. We could say the evolution of the earth. Simultaneously, I received a message about some sort of gas cloud or potentially energy coming towards us. And I'm not sure when this is happening. It might be that we're in it now. A lot of times the messages I receive might be future transmissions, which is the part of the reason I don't always share those, is because they tend to be around events that may or may not change based on what we decide in choice points. But this is, we've already done this. It's already in the works. So this gaseous cloud has certain a molecular composition held within it that once it merges, let's say, with our bodies and the earth, it also will be creating or bringing to us certain gifts, is what I'm hearing, bounty. So once I type this up, if and when I find time to type it up, I will share it with you guys. And if you feel called, you can read it. I haven't updated my blog in a while, but I will be doing that very soon. And I will send a message out when I do for any of the 3 people that read it to be interested in checking it out. Okay, I'm just going to go into flow and see if anything else comes through about this. So we have come into a land before time, we might say, because of our time capsule, our ability to relate with our own reality in a very different way. We are now accessing multiple frameworks at the same time, and this may be confusing for some. Let us say if you were inside of a movie and you could have alternate endings to the movie, yet you would see all of the choices at the same time within that movie. That would be one example. Or you could say that you're able to watch the frame at different times and choose. I'm seeing a person standing there with like this movie, and this movie, and they're all kind of playing at the same time, but we're watching them all at the same time. So that has a little bit of about multidimensionality. And in this particular placement in our galaxy, one might call it, we have been able to access multidimensionality. Because of this, we are accessing portals and dominions, landscapes, dreamscapes, for we are dreaming into reality from one perspective. But coming back to the portals, this also means potentials. And so as we are moving in a crystalline frequency or energy of pure intention and love, and focused intention of, I'm hearing kind of peace for all mankind, this bliss felt in resonance, it creates a vibration. And this vibration, we might think of it as a combination lock. And this combination has been keyed into and opening, allowing for openings inside the Earth's crust. The Earth's crust, it's almost as if it had to be stimulated in this way, or a particular number and harmonic had to be reached in order to access these deeper potentials. For the walls could not be breached before because of the solidity of the density of the lower dimensionality that was keeping us at bay. And some of this is a play on words and some of this is literal. And so the rocks and the formations and the rock formations are a condensing, or I'm hearing condensation, but I'm just seeing condensed materials that all hold rare metals and delicious, this is a play on words. I'm seeing like a deciduous forest, and I'm seeing like a reservoir of rock, or better spoken, there is a reservoir held inside of the rock. And this reservoir opens to certain canals, and these canals open to more canals that open to portals that allow us to access these veins inside of these channels. And so we're playing with this in a wordplay somewhat, because this is also happening in the human body. But back to the earth mechanism, as these rocks sing, as they create a sound, a harmony, we sing with them and create a resonance. And this is a powerful display of the true architecture of the earth and the true architecture of the human visionary. And I'm hearing self-worth, and this is a play on words. Part of me wants to drop in and just be like, you know, in flow, but I'm seeing kind of a pattern here, so I'm just trying to slow it down. So this energy or frequency that is being birthed, or opening the potentiality, one might say, of these chemical combinations, is creating a lattice work architecture of new information. For as the stones sing, so too do we respond and ring back. So this ring, I'm seeing a ring in a tree or timestamp, but also like I'm just seeing it ring around the rose, but I'm seeing like a phone call. This ring is an energetic toroidal spin, but there are also specific coordinates or access points within that allow us to individually connect to these sounds or elements or elementals or fractals of yourself. And there are so many different perspectives or ways to interpret this message, or ways in which to look at this area of our bodies, but also in the earth. And so I am being called to go into the rare metal. So we'll start there. The composition inside of the earth's elements is a pattern, and the pattern is a geometry and a geometric configuration filled with opportunity for diversity. And so the earth's growth and all of the things that she grows from within are a diversification of many different plants, animals, and minerals. And so the minerals that are inside of the earth are also held in many other galaxies even. Yet no version of earth is built in quite this way. And just like all beings and the fingerprints and snowflakes that were being discussed earlier, each have an individual unique blueprint, so does this version of earth. So the elements or elementals or rare metals or crystalline, I'm hearing many different words, so I'm just trying to play with this for a moment, that are being birthed or pushed up from the bedrock are giving us access to an entirely new airborne energy. This is a version of a higher dimensionality in which we can access a more all-encompassing, I'm seeing like technology as well as healing modalities and a better understanding of how our reality is now operating. So this will enhance operational systems. This will enhance robotics. And this is a difficult subject to or topic to convey. But let us say it is a more organic way in order to initiate into the human potential. So when I say robotics, it's not the typical metal that we're thinking of. It's part of our actual blueprint is what I'm hearing. And so this interaction with these types of geometries and chemical combinations give us access to our own, let's say, fountain of youth, inner youth, and gives us the ability to euthanize, is the play on words, euthanize, like let go of things that were potentially harmful to our own growth, that we misinterpreted as being in alignment with our true potential, when in actuality, they only gave us a temporary, I'm hearing morphality. So that's a play on words. Morphing. They gave us a temporary solution. They gave us a temporary reprieve from, I'm not hearing morality, but like, it's a lot. Let me just go back into flow. Morphogenesis, all of the above. So we can play with this, and this is the genesis from one perspective of a completely new relationship with the inner earth. Now, many of us are here now as your ancestors from birth, and we are saying this as a collective of energy and elementals as part of the, I'm hearing the kingdom is within you, the elemental kingdom, but also the plant and animal ancestors, as well as our geological ancestors, as well as the physical ancestors that once were birthed on this planet and beyond the physical. So everything is now. We are an adaptation, one might say, of an energetic component that is communicating through this particular channel at this time, because it is important to recognize our unity and oneness with the inhabitants of Earth, including the plants and animals and the incredible diversity that is located underneath the sedimentary, play on words, the sediment, the trees, the sediment and the trees and the rocks. And the birds and the bees and the rocks and the trees. And so we wish to intermingle because we are all part of the same unit. When you activated your heart codex song, I'm hearing song blue, diamond architecture. Um, you activated a signal, you created a charge, and this opened the components because it was the code that was necessary to create a chemical reaction in response to your chemical reaction. For many of you know this, but do not realize at how deep of a level we are all connected. And so the ancestors are coming up, if you will, through the bandwidths and through these portals at this time energetically to merge with the human. For you are your ancestors and we are you. And we are in the process of becoming anew. That's a play on words, the loop, anew, A-N-U, but also co-creating a beautiful, diverse, and abundant earth together. And we do this through sharing our knowledge and sharing. All right, I'm being shown that when bodies are buried in the earth and that crystalline bone is dissolved, or not even dissolved, it breaks down, it's composted, and it creates, a certain energy. And there is something to that, which many of us know, our ancestors knew. It's kind of why we're really not supposed to be buried in coffins, from what I can see. But what I'm being shown is it actually releases a gas at a certain stage. And this gaseous energy this is beyond, I'm being guided to say this is beyond the soul. It's not, this is just the physical. But nothing is just the physical, is what I'm being shown. So everything has a foothold, so to speak, in the spiritual or elemental realms. So the bones break down and create a chemical composition that interacts with the earth. And certain ancestors were purposely put in certain places on the earth because they kept a key within them, within you and me, that was meant to connect with the land. I'm hearing the land of my birth. And there's a lot of questions I know that are coming up, but I'm just going to keep going with this. And when those chemical creations were formed in the death and rebirth process, the merge with the earth, it blended to make a beautiful concoction, play on words, of elemental design that was kept in a time capsule, one might say, and now has been let loose, reactivated, opened, birthed through this particular channel of time. And so this is something that has been in the works for quite some time. And many of you are beginning to feel a deeper connection with all of you, not only each and every individual on the planet, but all of you, all of your divine aspects, all of your bits and pieces and components of memory. Some of you are merging with your own ancestral treasure box, one might say. And simultaneously, many of you are having ahas about your heritage, or having things begin to activate within you, such as knowledge about certain medicines, certain animals, certain plants or concepts that before held no interest for you, or potentially you did not find relevant, and you find yourself now unable to focus on anything else, or becoming curious about concepts and subjects that you never before held very much interest in. Or having said that, some of you have been very interested in some of these concepts and are now receiving more information about it that is allowing you to build a bridge with these topics. So we are sharing not only how quantum energy or entanglement works from one perspective, but we are also letting you know that your ancestors are here with you now more so than they ever were before in the physical sense. Some may call this plasma, and some have referred to ghosts. Some have referred to this energy coming up as memories, or I'm hearing like dust clouds. I'm seeing all kinds of stuff, not just so. We say this not to confuse people, because there is a direct difference and variation between a ghost and a plasma excitation. Yet they are also one and the same in an energetic description. So because of this, it can create emotions connected to this charge that was held inside of the earth that is being released through the ancestral lines. And so this is something many of you agreed to do, to come to this planet to assist you and your ancestral line in allowing the energy to move through you and to co-create with the fullness of that ancestral line remembrance. So you are collaborating with not only more aspects of yourself, bringing yourself into full oneness, you are also clearing the ancestral energetics and lineages from one perspective, but more than that. And there is so much more, because we do not necessarily understand from a human collective perspective what this door actually opens us to, other than great expansion, greater expression. We chose to be birthed into this now moment for many reasons, and we chose to carry this particular fingerprint and blueprint for many reasons. And many of these reasons are now starting to become realized, remembered, and accessed, or better spoken, are being lived and experienced and expressed just by the sheer abilities of being a human in a skin suit, holding the ability to hold many different realities, getting a little emotional here, in one version. I'm hearing human version 5.0. And so we are sharing this in a state of grace and complete reverence, as this is the word of the month, so to speak. I'm hearing word of mouth. Reverence for you, and we feel the reverence for the ancestors that you feel for us as our ancestral reunion. I'm just seeing so, like, can you even imagine how many beings have actually lived on the planet Earth and that are in the soil, that are part of the trees, that are part of what all of us have? It's just, whew. So as we mix and merge together, we invite you to remember the fullness of who you are. And we share our love and strength and light with those who wish to open to feel it and to use this energy, these elements, as a resource of abundance. So I'm being called to stop for just a moment. This doesn't mean we have to go out and start digging for gold. It's almost like, because it's been activated in the earth, it's been activated inside of us. But simultaneously, there are people who are on earth now that came here just to work with these elements. Scientists and archaeologists and biologists and marine biologists. I mean, it goes on and on and on. I'm just seeing, like, it's going to affect potentially it's nothing's going to be the same. And this also has to do with our waters, but that's a whole other video from what I'm hearing, and I'm just hearing them laugh like. Okay, so this, I'm going to end on that note and just kind of see what we want to end with. So we honor each and every one of you, for you are how we are able to continue this connection with Earth. For we see through you, I'm seeing like they birthed us, but we birthed them. And it's this constant, infinite circle of life. And the more you can connect with the earth and the land and the waters and the plants, and the more you can drink in the spatial awareness of how much abundance is all around, that you are continuously interacting with, the air that comes into your body and what is carried inside of this nutrient rich oxygen, the dirt underneath the plants that you eat, that you are filling more of yourself with. It allows you to feel more of yourself. It allows you to fill up more with the light that the earth is birthing. And we are all part of this, and we are so grateful to be, I'm hearing part of the we, part of the sea, part of the ocean, part of the sand. And I was shown this before of seashells that all end up, that's how the sand is made. Well, we're the seashells, but we're also the sand. And the sand is our ancestors that we're walking on, in essence. So we're never really disconnected from all the beings that have been here on Earth. And I was also shown a lot more, which I'll go into in another video, about crystal caverns and actual kind of galactic information that's inside of the caverns underneath the earth. And that's a whole other video. So in love and light, guys, thank you so much for tuning into this, and namaste.